Good morning. We're going to get started with the math assignment for today. As you know, the benchmark tests are being given, and room 162, our room, and Mr. Miller's room and Mr. Harrison's room are being used as testing sites. So you are going to be working in different classrooms and completing your work there. We're still going to continue to review some concepts to get you ready for your benchmark, which you'll be taking later this week. So the first assignment that you have is ordering integers. You have a worksheet that you should have in front of you now. And we're going to start first with reviewing a couple of concepts or a couple of pieces of information. And then we're going to annotate the directions together. So make sure you have a pencil on your desk and your worksheet. Put your name at the top right now. And then we're going to continue. Okay, so when you are ordering integers, you want to be sure to annotate the directions because you need to know if you're going to go from least to greatest or from greatest to least. So now I'm going to give you a moment. I want you to read the directions for your worksheet. Don't annotate just yet. Just read the directions to yourself. And then when I say go, we're going to annotate the directions together. So, reading silently now. Okay, you should have had enough time to read. So now, your directions look just like this here. And we're going to read through them again or follow along while I read through this, and then we're going to decide what is the important information that needs to be underlined. So your directions state, rewrite the following sets of integers so that the integers are ordered from least to greatest. Remember which way integers move on the number line. Negative integers further away from 0 are smaller than integers closer to 0. That should be negative integers closer to 0. And an example, negative 12 is less than negative 6. Negative 12 is further away from 0. So if you're ordering integers, negative 12 is actually less than negative 6. So now, I'm going to underline, rewrite the following sets of integers so that integers are ordered from least to greatest. And I want you to put a circle around least to greatest. What is another word that you could use for least? Tell your partner quickly, what do you think that other word that means the same thing as least would be? And if you said smallest or tiniest, you are absolutely correct. So now, what about greatest? What's another word for greatest? And if you said largest or biggest, you're absolutely correct. Okay, and go ahead and put that on your paper. So when you're looking at your integers, you know you want to go from the smallest integer to the largest or from least to the greatest. Okay, I also want you to underline which way integers move on the number line. And negative integers further away from 0 are smaller than integers closer to 0. So just as a little bit of a review for how numbers move on a number line. I'm going to draw a number line quickly here. Okay, there's 0, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. My positive integers are moving to the right. And I want you to add this on your paper. You put this on the back of the paper. Positive, right. And negative, goes left. Okay, so make sure you've added that number line to the back of your worksheet that you have in front of you. Just as a reminder, if you need to go back in and refer to it, you can. Okay, now we're going to get started with ordering some numbers. Okay, rewrite these integers from least to greatest. Use a number line to check your answer. You have your number line in your math workbook or in your math notebook. You can use that, or you can just write these on the back of your paper. These are just going to be some sample ones that we're going to do. So if I want to go from least to greatest, I want the smallest. So I'm going to look for where all of my negative numbers are first. I'm going to underline my negative numbers. And I'm going to look for the smallest negative number. That would be negative 10. Okay. The next smallest number would be negative 5. I'm sorry, negative 8. Followed by negative 5. Now I don't have any of the negative numbers. So now I'm going to look at my positive numbers, and I'm going to put a line above the positive numbers. And I want to continue going from least to greatest. So my next integer that I have here is going to be 2, followed by 5, followed by 7, and followed by 12. So now I've ordered my integers from least to greatest. Notice that I underlined the integers and indicated which one was going to be going where. So now, let's pause here. Okay, so let's take a look at the second set. And again, I'm going to underline my negative integers first so that I am focusing on the order that I want to put them in, keeping in mind that the further away from 0 the negative integer is, the smaller it is. So I can see that my smallest negative integer is going to be negative 12. Because that one is furthest from 0. I'm going to look at my other negative integers that I've underlined. Negative 9 is next. After negative 9, I'm going to put negative 7, negative 4, and negative 1. And I'm just going to double check just to make sure that I didn't leave any out. So I did negative 12, I did negative 9, I did negative 7, I did negative 4, and I did negative 1. If you have a lot of integers that you're ordering, it's a good idea to go back and just double check and make sure you've included them all. So now I'm going to do my positive integers from least to greatest, and I'm going to put a blue line above the positive integers so that I can clearly see where those are. And I'm going to continue with my ordering. So from least to greatest with my positive integers, I'm going to have 2, followed by 3, followed by 5, followed by 7, followed by 10. And again, I'm going to double check to make sure that I have included all of my positive integers. And I've got 7. Actually, I should start with my smallest one first. I've got 2. I've got 3. I've got 5. I've got 7. And I've got 10. And I have all of my integers there. So now for the last set that we're going to take a look at. And again, I'm going to underline my negative integers, just so I can focus on those and not get mixed up with my positive integers. And I'm going to take a look at the ones that I underlined. And again, my smallest one is going to be negative 12 because that's furthest from 0. My next integer is going to be negative 7. And that's going to be followed by negative 5, negative 2, and negative 1. And again, I'm just going to double check and make sure that I have included all of my negative integers. So I started with negative 12, and then I had negative 7, then I had negative 5, and I had negative 2, and then I had negative 1. If you want, on your paper, you can also cross them out like this. That's also another strategy. You could cross them out and know that, okay, they've been ordered. What you don't want to do is think you've got all of them and then find out that you've missed one. So now I'm going to go back to my positive integers, and I'm going to put a blue line above all my positive integers. And then I'm going to go back and put them in order. Okay, so now I'm going to take a look at the ones that I have put blue lines above, and I know my next one is going to be 1, followed by 3, followed by 5, whoops, not by 5. It's trying to fix that comma and paying attention to that. I need to put 4. Positive 4, followed by positive 5, followed by positive 8, positive 9, and positive 10. Okay, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to double check just to make sure I cut them all. So there was 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, and 10. So I have them all ordered from least or smallest to greatest or largest. So I'm going to stop the video here. You are now going to take your worksheet and you're going to show your work right on the front of the paper. You have already annotated your directions. We did that together. And now you're going to complete this worksheet ordering all 25 items or all 25 examples from least to greatest. Okay, go ahead and begin now.